Hi guys, this is a recap of what we did today. So you're going to go into your agenda and you'll see that you still have the homework to join Remind, so if you haven't done that yet, please do it. And then what we did today as a class was finish the definition strategies assignment. So when you are in the classwork tab, that should be the last thing under cycle 4. So you're going to read through this top part. Basically, definition strategies are something we're going to be using to write our first essay. They are considered rhetorical devices. So rhetorical devices are things that writers and speakers use to show meaning, to persuade their audience, or to evoke emotion, to make you feel a certain way. And definition strategies are rhetorical devices that are used to define complex concepts. So what we'll be defining is what it means to be an American. And we're going to use definition strategies to do that. So back in the anticipatory guide, the first thing we did for this unit, we had a little chart that had these sentence starters in it that you had to finish. An American is anyone who, an American is not, a good example of an American is, and a person shows they are American by. So each one of those uses a different definition strategy that is described here. So classification takes an idea and separates the things into groups. Negation is defining something by telling what that definition does not include. Exemplification is giving an example to illustrate a point or a concept. And function is using the purpose of an item to define it. So on this page, you'll see that there's a bunch of examples here in these colored boxes. What we did in class was read each of those and then decided which of the definition strategies it belonged to, and then you can click and drag them to arrange them next to the words that you think they go with. Down here in part 1, we are looking for examples of those 4 definition strategies in the article that we read about free speech and the First Amendment. So the first question here gives you a specific quote from the article and says, name the definition strategy, the rhetorical device being used, and then tell me why would the author use it? What's the purpose of saying that? And then questions 2 and 3. Here you read this chunk of the article that is the public protest subheading. And then for question 2, you're going to give me at least one place, one quote from here that uses exemplification. And for question 3, at least one quote from this section that uses negation. You're going to ignore this because that was just there from when we were doing it in class. Okay, so down here, you're going to find your own example from the article of exemplification. So you're just going to cut and paste a quote here from the article that shows exemplification. And then over here, you'll tell me why you think the author chose to use that. What does it do for you as the reader? Here, I've given you 2 quotes from the article. You have to tell me which of the definition strategies matches that quote, and then tell me why you think the author used it. And then for this last box, you have to find another example of your choice. You can choose classification, exemplification, negation, or function. From that article, you're going to put the quote here. You're going to tell me which strategy it uses and why you think the author chose to use it. So when you need to look back at that article, I have posted it here in the stream. It is not a separate assignment. It's just for you to be able to look at the text. So you don't have to do anything with this other than look for the information you need to fill out this chart.